Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legal Things. Today we're talking about the basic documents and evidence to prepare when you're getting ready for a divorce. If you're planning a divorce, you may be wondering what documents and evidence you will need to have prepared. Your divorce lawyer may also require that you have certain documents and evidence prepared in advance so that he or she can prepare relevant court documents to submit and to prove your case. As you may recall, the divorce proceedings in Singapore consist of two main stages. The initial stage, which focuses on showing that the marriage has irretrievably broken down to justify the marriage being ended, and the second ancillary proceeding stage, which focuses on matters relating to the division of matrimonial assets, payment of spousal and child maintenance, and child custody issues. So, the documents and evidence you must prepare are those which would help the court make decisions in these two stages. First, you will need to ensure that you have the following personal documents, such as your personal identification documents, your marriage certificate, birth certificates of the children of the marriage. These documents are relevant for the preparation of the statement of claim, which is filed at the start of the divorce proceedings, and it includes the following information, such as details of the marriage, including the duration of the marriage, which is important because divorce proceedings can only be started after the parties have been married for at least 3 years. Details of the couple, including the age, citizenship, nationality, addresses, education levels, and occupations. And this is important for establishing, amongst other things, the court's matrimonial jurisdiction to hear and to conduct the divorce proceedings. This is because the Singapore court has jurisdiction to hear divorce proceedings only if either party to the marriage is domiciled in Singapore, meaning residing or living in Singapore indefinitely at the start of the divorce proceedings, or habitually resident in Singapore for 3 years before the start of the divorce, as well as details of the children, if any. If any children of the marriage suffer from disabilities or chronic illnesses, you should then also bring the relevant medical reports corroborating such conditions. Second, you'll need evidence that the marriage has irretrievably broken down. At the first stage of the divorce proceedings, the court considers whether the marriage has irretrievably broken down, and you will need to show one of the following facts to satisfy the court that this has taken place, such as for adultery, that your spouse has committed adultery and that you find it intolerable to live with him or her, for unreasonable behavior, that your spouse has behaved in a manner that you cannot be reasonably expected to live with him or her, for desertion, that your spouse has deserted you for a continuous period for at least 2 years before either party filed for divorce, for separation, that both parties have lived apart for a continuous period of at least 4 years before filing for divorce, and alternatively 3 years is sufficient if your spouse consents to the divorce. In other situations, you may also need evidence to support your description and account of unique circumstances in your case, such as private investigative reports to prove adultery, communications between the parties such as text messages, or medical reports in instances of domestic abuse. Third, you may also need documents relating to maintenance. If you are seeking maintenance, you should put together a list of the monthly expenses of both you and your children, accompanied by documentary proof such as receipts. When deciding whether to order maintenance as well as the amount of maintenance, the court will consider the financial standing and profile of both you and your spouse, so you should then prepare the following documents as far as possible: your payslips, CPF statements, evidence of employment in the form of an employment letter or contract, income tax documents, bank statements, and documents proving both parties' debts. Fourth, you'll also need documents relating to your assets. To help the court decide how to approach the issue of dividing matrimonial assets, you should prepare documents relating to assets which are owned solely by you or your spouse or jointly by the both of you. For example, housing loan documents, renovation receipts, bank statements, pay slips, as well as credit card statements and any valuation reports or income tax documents, as well as insurance policies, if any. It's also useful to prepare a list or inventory of these assets together with their estimated values or valuation. If one of the assets is an HDB flat, then you should also prepare CPF statements relating to the payment for the flat, including the Public Housing Scheme statements of accounts and withdrawal statements. So now you know. If you enjoyed listening to this and would like to hear more, subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And remember, it's not rocket science, it's just legal things.